things. They had found the right combination in the second half. Had some guys hot, rode them. There goes Rosarena. He steals home in October. Donald gets him. One for Seattle. Aaron Donald now. Oh, here's a block. Blocked off the foot of Dixon, and Dixon now kicks it. Well, that's coming back. That's coming back as this goes down near the 10.
Oh, buckle up, y'all. I mean, I don't even know. I'm just trying to get through this as quickly as I can because there's so much to talk about. Courtesy of whoever, TBS, Fox, Joe Buck, Troy 8 went Thursday Night Football. Before that, Randy Arozarena steals home. Just stole home. Whoever the Boston Red Sox pitcher was, just taking his sweet-ass time delivering to home. And Randy Arozarena is like, boy, you slow. Steals home. The Rays annihilate the Red Sox. It's Friday, so I don't mind saying this. Excuse my language. Bunch of ass whoopings in baseball yesterday. Bunch of ass whoopings. In fact, there's only been one good game so far. There's been 5 games played. Or 5 games? 4 games. 4 games. There have been 4 total playoff games. 2 play-in games and 2 series, and a bunch of ass whoopings. Astros annihilate the White Sox. My boy Lance Lynn got shelled. Lance McCullers beat him up, and then the Red Sox are not. I mean, we said this. I mean, I don't have a lot of baseball takes, but the Red Sox and the Yankees All-Star team would still not be as good as the Rays. So that is just a fact. Red Sox lose to the Rays 5-0. Astros beat the White Sox 6-1. 4 games today. All of the series are happening today. 2:07, White Sox Astro. 4:37, Braves and Brewers. The Hank Aaron series. Red Sox Rays after that. And then the nightcap will be the California series. Dodgers and Giants. Baseball. A lot of fun last night. Also fun last night. Thursday Night Football was epic. It was just epic. The Seahawks played the weirdest, stupidest games. A lot of people were calling it the Geno Smith game. That fell a little bit short. Other people were calling it the finger game. Both Matthew Stafford and Russell Wilson, 2 of the 5 best quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Who would the other ones be? Mahomes? Allen? Yeah. Well, those guys are in a league of their own. And then there's like a rotational spot for Brady, Prescott, possibly Lamar Jackson, though I'm not on that. Anyway, 2 of the best quarterbacks in the NFL last night. Both of them broke their fingers. Both tried to snap it back in. Russell Wilson's was worse than Matthew Stafford, and they kept showing it, and it looked like a Halloween claw. Anyway, he got hurt. Geno Smith had to come in, and Geno Smith was awesome. Through 4 drives with Russell Wilson, the Seahawks had 16 yards and no points. 2 drives with Geno Smith, 10 points and 144 yards. Geno Smith is one of the better backups in the NFL. He threw a pick to end the game on what they needed to be a game-winning drive, but that's because Tyler Lockett fell down. It wasn't Geno Smith's fault. Matthew Stafford was off and still threw for 365 yards. He was so off. As a Lions fan, he's like your ex, and you're like, God, you still are the way that you are. He's probably off because his finger popped out of its socket. No disrespect there. The play that we played was something else people were going to talk about, the double punt game. So the way that it works is you can kick twice. So punt was blocked. The punter picked it up, and then he ran a little bit, and then he kicked it again. However, he stepped in front of the line of scrimmage to do that. Apparently, that's not reviewable, but you can kick the ball twice. It is legal as long as both times you are behind the line of scrimmage. He was not, and he got away with it. It ended up being a sick punt. That's great. We'll talk about football in a minute. I have 2 stories for y'all. I gotta get my specs here. Which ones do I want? I'll take the professor-y looking ones. I have 2 stories for you guys. I have 2 stories. Story number 1. I was gonna do this on Monday, but then there was too much stuff to do, and then I was gonna do it on Tuesday. It's like so it was Football Friday. Let's do it. Okay, so I did not steal this story from the Denver Post. I'm just not a subscriber, and I am quicker with copy and paste than there. Let's just read the headline. UNC, that's University of Northern Colorado, Max McCaffrey, reprimanded for throwing clipboard into Montana State stands. Hold on. Max McCaffrey. Shut up. There's no way. Is this, what's his name? Maxwell James McCaffrey, NFL, wait. Siblings, Dylan McCaffrey, Luke McCaffrey, Christian McCaffrey. That's Ed McCaffrey's kid? He's coaching at Northern Colorado. He threw a clipboard in the stands. This guy was yelling at him while Coach McCaffrey was tossing a souvenir into the stands. He showed poor judgment. This is according to the UNC athletic director. It was clear there was no intent or harm. He was just mad. After visiting with Max and the entire football staff, I'm confident, blah, blah, blah. So this guy has the picture of the clipboard. We'll bring it up for the YouTubers out there. Bam, there's the clipboard. He just threw it in the stands. Look at it. Coach of the year, Toyota. It's broken. The guy who got the clipboard said, hey, coach, maybe you should focus on how small your pants are rather than breaking a clipboard. The guy said he was very surprised that he threw it at me. I was one of the only people standing in the section where I said it. I'm guessing he tried to throw it at me. Everyone around me freaked out. It was just dumbfounded. Got heckled. It's a life of privilege there, Mr. McCaffrey. Effing hilarious. I have another cool story. This story is even crazier. So if you haven't seen the 30-minute series on Netflix, it's not a series, 30-minute special on Netflix where this guy who is Mexican, and I think he's a Mexican immigrant in the United States, second generation or first generation immigrant, he was falsely accused of committing murder. And the reason he got off, he was like going to prison for the rest of his life. The reason that he got off is because he was at the Dodger game at the time of the murder, right? And Curb Your Enthusiasm was shooting, and in the B-roll, they had a shot of him because they were like, "Hey, dude, do you have any like what happened at the game? Is there any way for us to prove that you were at the game?" And he's like, "Yeah, they were shooting something." So they went there. It was Curb Your Enthusiasm, and the dude walked right in front of the camera. In the same season, this dude who's been wanted for $350 million bank fraud was also at a game. On a tweet on October 6th, 2021, the U.S. Marshal Service says the U.S. Marshal Service is asking for the public's assistance to identify a 2016 Dodgers game attendee who investigators say strongly resembles a 15 most wanted fugitive who's been on the run since November 1998. This dude, who allegedly stole $350 million, was just trusted to go from the police station where he was turning in his ankle bracelet to prison. He was going to drive himself to prison. Well, they found his car 2 days later at, get this, JFK. And now, it looks like him. They have him, and for your information, I believe the Red Sox won the game 9-5. In the picture, they're up 4-0. He's just chilling. He's just chilling in the back there. 160 counts of bank fraud and money laundering. Several members of her family, the family that profited off of his stuff, and then his daughter has a really, really sad quote. "I thought he loved me." Yeah, what a mess that is. But anyway, he was at the 2016 Dodgers game the same year that Curb Your Enthusiasm was Larry David got a guy off for murder. All right, let's talk about some football. Big news, big breaking news. Shelly Meyer deleted Twitter. Guys, that's the wife of Urban Meyer. She deleted Twitter. Except that she didn't. She deleted the app. Thank you, friends, followers, fans, supporters, for all your love, laughs over the years. God bless and God bless America. Peace out. Peace sign. I'm going to ballpark 27 flamingos and some heart eye emojis. Would you like me to read her statement? God, I wish I had some sad music. I was too busy playing a game of chess to produce this episode properly. This will be my last post on Twitter. Crying emoji. Frankly, I don't need the hate, vitriol, slander, trash that will at me. This has never stopped anyway. We all make mistakes, we are all sinners. If you think you aren't, then cast the first stone. Fine. To my wonderful followers / friends, that's good, thank you. Thank you for your love, support, friendship, laughs. I will miss this the most. I love you all and wish God's blessings on you. Thank you, period, heart emoji. Hashtag faith, family, football, flamingos. Cross emoji, praying hands emoji, family emoji, football emoji, flamingo emoji. P.S. I will be deleting right as I post this, so I will not see responses. Much love. She did not delete her Twitter account. She deleted the Twitter app from her phone. R.I.P. to Shelly Meyer. Her life is going incredibly well. I have another guy whose life's going incredibly well. Let's talk about Andy Murray. Andy Murray won, I think, a couple Grand Slams. He definitely won the Olympics, which was that was when tennis was fun. When in the Olympics in London, and they had the English had a great tennis player in Andy Murray, and Wimbledon, which is a very classy clap 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 kind of place. It was a rock concert. Anyway, I guess because he's British, he doesn't want to live in a mansion. I don't know. He was airing out his tennis shoes under his car overnight because his feet stink. Yeah, been there, played hockey, been there, got to do that, got to use the sun. But he tied his wedding ring to the shoelace so that he could have his wife with him when he played, which I think, that's kind of cute. Wedding rings are reasonably light, and their waist, these stupid rubber things. I'm married. I'm never wearing a rubber ring. I don't care. They're so stupid. I hate them. They're so dumb. Stop it. Just if you're gonna be trashy, just get a tattoo. Anyway, so he left his wedding ring tied to his shoes, and someone, get this, stole them from under his car. Andy, you're rich. Andy, you're rich. Live in a gated neighborhood. Do something else. Oh, my goodness. All right, a lot of crazy stories today. That Max McCaffrey thing is effing hilarious. It's because his pants were too small. They are tight. He's a hipster. They are really, really tight. Yeah, they're just too tight. And that guy's got a point. They're very tight. Okay, let's go to NFL football preview. We have a Sunday morning London game, which we should do 7 London games a year because I want to wake up and watch football in the morning. I used to live in the Mountain West time zone. I no longer do. College game day used to be on at 8 a.m., and it was incredible. Now I have to wait all day. Why would you do that to me? The Jets and the Falcons, both of whom wait. Hold up. Are the Falcons are 1-3. Yeah. RIP London, when they scheduled this game, they thought, hey, some quarterbacks or whatever. This looks like a trash game. Falcons are favored by 3 on the road. I'm not going to make a pick in this game. I do think it's unfortunate that the London people will not get to see Calvin Ridley, who's probably the best player for either team, I would imagine. He did not make the trip, so draft in your DFS and fantasy and bet accordingly. Matt Ryan's making me sad. He is 1 or 2 years in front of where Ben Roethlisberger is. Other games of note this weekend, Tampa is playing Miami, which normally I wouldn't care about because Tampa's much better, but it's not just Tampa, it's Tom Brady and playing Miami, and that game is always a weird mess. He does not mentally function against Miami. And Miami now has Robert Flores. Remember, they ruined the seeding for the New England Patriots a couple years ago. Robert Flores, and they're a little better, so that's an interesting game. Bucks favored by 10. That's a lot of points. Patriots favored by 9 over the Texans. Whoa, that's kind of disrespectful. People usually beat the Texans by much more than that. The Titans and the Jaguars, Bears and Raiders. I don't know. Don't care about that game. Cleveland and the Chargers. I love that. The Browns and the Chargers. The Chargers are favored by 2 in Los Angeles. Why? It's going to be a Browns home game. Dallas and the Giants. I have news for everybody, and this is really difficult. It's really annoying. Dallas is really good. They lost by like 1 possession to Tampa and kind of outplayed them in the first game of the year. They have then scored a ton of points and kind of wrecked everybody they played. Them and Buffalo, I think, are really good. The Sunday night game, the game of the year perhaps, the Buffalo Bills, Sunday night football at the Kansas City Chiefs. My suspicion, and if I'm going to have a take, I think the Bills are going to kick the Chiefs' ass. I think it's going to be multiple touchdowns. It's going to be a what's wrong in Kansas City game. If you're a good team, you annihilate bad teams. And in the NFL, an annihilation is winning by an average margin of 10. The Bills are winning by an average margin of well over 20, and that includes a loss, which is crazy. The Chiefs just played a game against the Eagles in which they did not punt. And not just them. There were no punts in the game. Like 4th time in the history of professional football, there were no punts in a game, which is great. The Chiefs' offense, look how smart they are. Also, they didn't stop the Eagles once. They stopped them on 4th down a couple times and held them to a couple field goals, but the Eagles didn't punt either, and the Cowboys crushed the Eagles. That's all I'm saying. All right, let's move to some, is that it for the NFL preview? Yeah, so for the NFL preview, other things to watch. People want to watch the Jacksonville Titans game because the Titans are not great, but they want to watch Jacksonville melt down. Darrell Bevell was the interim head coach of the Detroit Lions last year, and he beat the Bears, something that Matt Patricia never did. Did you hear me? Matt Patricia, even when they were bad, they never beat the Bears, but Darrell Bevell did. Darrell Bevell is a competent head coach, and he was taken very seriously for the job in Detroit, and I think it would be great if Urban Meyer quit so we could see if Darrell Bevell is a good head coach. He's got a lot of experience. Minnesota, Detroit, Seattle, won a lot of games, including a Super Bowl. He's the only offensive coordinator in NFL history in back-to-back years to have a team that 1 year led the league in rushing, and the next year led the league in passing. I would love to see him at the helm there, so I'm kind of hoping that there's just an epic collapse. This would be the game to bet on if Urban fakes the injury. This might be the injury game. God, I wish I was rich enough to just go to Vegas odds makers and be like, I need you guys to make me a market, like a stock investor, like in movies. Be like, hey, give me odds on this. And they would just do it because they just want my money and I'm an addict. That's the first step, though, admitting that I'm an addict. There's football tonight, right? Yeah, Temple, Cincinnati. That's right. I said that. Pay attention to this. I think that Temple's going to piss Cincinnati off. Cincinnati's favored by 30. I'm not buying that at all. They're not a good home team. They're weird. That stadium is bizarre. You watch games there and you're like, I don't know. This feels kind of strange. Arizona State's hosting Stanford on Friday night because the Pac-12 makes their players do that, which actually is good for their education. Those players go to college, which is not true for other conferences. Okay. Ole Miss is favored by 6 over Arkansas because passing is more important than running the football. welcome to America. Both of these teams play the two high safety look, which means they're going to look each other in the eye and say, hey, you run the ball. No, you run the ball. No, you run the ball. And we'll see which coach breaks first and throws and gets a bunch of interceptions. Michigan State's at Rutgers. Upset alert for Michigan State. They're favored by 6. Rutgers, it seems like for the first time, they're not just like occasionally making people mad or whatever. Like Rutgers seems like if they just relax, they can build something. They're much better recruits than the majority of states out there in New Jersey. Red River rivalry, that game also kicks off at noon along with Arkansas Ole Miss. Like I said earlier, people think Texas is going to be good. Oklahoma's great because Spencer Rattler, the quarterback for Oklahoma, was sort of the consensus number 1 overall pick. It's starting to surface that he thinks he's a bit too cool for school. Against West Virginia, the crowd was chanting, we want the backup, who is a 5-star recruit, obviously. This kid also reportedly didn't try hard at the Elite 11 camp with, I think, Matt Corral, Sam Howell, DJ Uiagalelei, and a couple guys from last year's class like Zach Wilson. I heard this on a podcast from a quarterback scout and Daniel Jeremiah and Bucky Brooks, their podcast, which is excellent. It combines college football scouting with professional football, like deep track recruiting. Like they're 2 old scouts who used to be on the road. It's a great, if you're a football junkie, it's a great podcast. They're very professional and good. They very classily implied that he doesn't care. He wants to look like he doesn't have to work hard. And as a result of that, he just comes off awful. He doesn't own up to mistakes. I think that every now and then you got to put it on the line. These spreads are kind of silly. So Oklahoma is favored by 3. I think Texas is going to kick their ass. Very similar to the Bills and Chiefs. I think Texas wins by 30. Maybe not 30, 20. I think Texas is going to crush them. Because that kid does not want to play football. He just doesn't. He's going to collapse. He's got, if you're an NBA fan, he's got Ben Simmons vibes. Which, by the way, we'll touch on the NBA here in a second. Just one quick story. It's not even a story. I don't care that much. We'll just talk about it. NHL and NBA previews coming up next week. Other spreads I want to pay attention to. I want to see, is Notre Dame favored? Where are you, Notre Dame? There they are. Notre Dame and Virginia Tech. No, that's a pick 'em. Yes, good. I could work for Vegas. That's exactly what I thought it would be. Virginia Tech's going to be lit up. They were lit up against North Carolina for the first game of the year, essentially on Thursday Night Football. Or is it Friday night? I don't remember. Must have been Friday night. The thing that I like about this game is that Notre Dame is a better program right now, but that doesn't mean that they're a better team in 2021 than Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech, they're not ready to compete with the big boys yet, and I swear those fans, if they just relax, they can build a program. I like Dave Fuentes, or whatever his first name is. I don't really care. But this is an important game for them. Notre Dame is ranked 14. Virginia Tech is unranked. They were ranked 21 before they lost to, I don't know, I want to say Wake Forest, something like that. But the pressure here is on Virginia Tech. If they don't win this game, I don't think there's any evidence to suggest that they'll ever be back and they're going to have to go look for a new head coach, which there will be some out there. It'd be a great place for guys like Craig Bolt to land, or the guy at Nevada with Carson Strong. All right. Is that college football preview? Anything else? Any other storylines I like in college football? I got to ask myself. Wisconsin, Illinois, that's great. Who wants to run more? Forgot that Brett Bielema's at Illinois. Yeah, you did too, huh? Uh-huh. I'm going to watch this Wake Forest thing. They're ranked 19th and they're undefeated. Weird. Oh, yeah, Georgia, Auburn. That game will be fun. I'm going to predict 6-9 Georgia wins. It's not funny. It's a little funny. It's not funny. Man, keep your eyes out at Dodgers games because you might be questioned by the police to help them solve some crimes. Unbelievable. MLB Baseball today, again, I'll remind you, starts at 2:07, so if you're at work and you're allowed to stream, 2:07 Eastern Standard Time, White Sox at Astros, followed by 4:37 Braves at Brewers. Day baseball is always great. Friday night, the first Friday night of the MLB playoffs is really enjoyable. I'll be back and better than ever on Monday morning to review the games and preview Monday Night Football. Like, rate, review, subscribe, etc., etc.